Sarah, the woman who said, "Laugh with me." Abraham had lots and lots of sheep, lots and lots of camels, lots and lots of tents, and lots of servants and friends. But one thing Abraham and his wife Sarah didn't have was lots and lots of children. But God promised Abraham that he would be daddy to so many children that he wouldn't even be able to count them, like the sand on the seashore or the stars in the sky. But Abraham and Sarah didn't have a child, not even one. Abraham and Sarah waited and waited and waited. Sarah would hold her friend's child and think, "Someday Abraham and I will have a child like this." But years and years and years went by, and that's a very long time to wait for a promise. And they grew older and older. Sarah began to wonder. God promised Abraham children, but God didn't promise me children. What if I am not the one to have the child that God promised? So one day, Sarah had an idea. She decided to give her servant girl, Hagar, to Abraham so that Abraham could have a baby with her. Sarah thought her idea was good, because then Abraham would still have a child like God promised. Abraham and Hagar, the servant girl, did have a baby, named Ishmael. But do you know what Abraham and Sarah found out? Ishmael was not the baby God promised. Sarah's good idea was not a good idea at all, because that good idea was not God's idea. Meanwhile, Abraham and Sarah grew older and older. In fact, now they were too old to even have a baby. Would God still be able to keep his promise to give Abraham and Sarah a child? One day, God himself came to visit them. God told Abraham, "This same time next year, Sarah will have a baby." God didn't say someday a long, long time from now. He didn't say somebody else. He said very soon, Sarah will hold a baby boy. Now Sarah, a too old to have a baby Sarah, was listening from her tent, and Sarah heard what God said. Sarah thought, "A baby? From me? Now? That's impossible. You must be joking." And all Sarah could do was laugh. But God was listening, and he asked her, "Why did you laugh?" Sarah was afraid, and she said, "I didn't laugh." But that was very silly to lie to God, because God knows everything. Of course, God knew she had laughed, and so he said, "No, Sarah, you did laugh." God told Abraham and Sarah they would have a baby boy, and God even picked the name for the baby boy. Do you know what name God picked? Isaac. Because in Sarah's language, Isaac means laughter. God picked a name that would remind them that nothing is impossible for God. So very old Sarah really laughed when little baby Isaac began to grow inside of her tummy. He would kick and tumble and hiccup inside her, and Sarah would just laugh and laugh and laugh. There was no doubting God now. This was no joke. She laughed with believing joy. And do you know what Sarah said when baby Isaac was born at the exact time God promised? She said, "God has made me laugh, and everyone who hears this story will laugh with me."